she asked it in the test, and he gets an A and I get a B.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know the formula.
Yeah.
And I was so stubborn, I wouldn't memorize. But see, it was outside.
Yeah.
Everything I memorized, I could recall.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't memorize that.
Mm-hmm.
My brother actually was smarter than I was. I mean, he was he had a better memory than I had.
I would think being in the actors that you would develop your memory.
Oh yeah.
That's so important, right, Shel?
Yeah,
To
it is. But
memorize lines. I can't remember,
I could
two
memorize
sentences.
lines and to tell a story and what my part was in that. But
Yeah.
if it was just to for spelling, for instance,
Oh.
I was horrible at spelling.
Oh.
I still can't spell really well.
Yeah.
And that too is just memorizing the
You just memorize the vocabulary.
vocabulary and how and I never retained that. I still can't spell receipt.
Yeah,
Why there's a P in it, I'll never
Yeah.
know.
yeah.
Isn't there a P in it?
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah, see, I don't know why. And then I go, is there a P or is there
But would
not?
you say that you have a good memory, but you were able to memorize lines?
I could memorize lines because it was telling a story.
Oh,
If I knew that when I
Oh.
was memorizing vocabulary, I would have made up stories for myself.
I see.
But I didn't know that
Because
until I started doing plays.
one line leads to the other,
Yeah.
They're
And it
connected,
connects to a feeling.
as opposed to just spelling, it's not connected to anything. You're
And
just
I wasn't
memorizing.
emotionally invested.
Right. How about you, Grace?
I was always pretty good at memorization, but I started younger than you did. I think. Yeah. Because I'd have
Memorizing
to memorize
lines
the big
when you were
speeches. and
Speeches
stuff.
when you were 5.
Yeah.
Maybe earlier than that.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
always loved it. I loved English and everything like that.
Oh.
I had a harder time in math because I guess the numbers and the formulas didn't make a ton of sense in my brain, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Like I couldn't memorize that as well.
Yeah.
But English, history, philosophy classes, when I took those, loved those. Could memorize all of that.
Ah,
But
that's
not
so.
math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still did well in math, though.
Yeah.
I think you did better than any one of us in the family.
I like I'm good at stuff like the basic arithmetic and stuff, or like if it like PEMDAS and stuff, but like the theoretical stuff like algebra, trigonometry, I have a harder time.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, that reminds me, you're going to be a nurse. You see those bottles there?
Yes.
When I call up on the telephone and I talk to the nurses, they have to know every single drug, what it does, what it's for, what you should avoid
Yeah.
having it. How do they do that? I
And
have it.
talk about memorizing
I
the drug names.
Yeah.
You have, and
what
what
my
they
mom
do,
does.
what they're used
And-
for, and what you can't take with
Yeah,
what they
yeah.
and what effect.
Yeah.
What are the side effects?
Absolutely.
And studying anatomy.
Yeah, I
My gosh.
love science and I love pharmacology.
Oh,
I think
my
it's
God.
so fun.
And
think
you
that's
can memorize
amazing.
all those strange weird
My
names,
mom still
like
makes
muscles.
us bring the paper every time we go to the pharmacy. We have to bring the paper
Yeah,
that came
yeah.
with the pill, and she wants to look it over and
Ah.
check it out, and she does all this research, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Was Donna an influence on you in terms of nursing, or?
Yeah. Because I loved asking her questions about
Yeah,
stuff too.
yeah,
Yeah. But I kind of refound it by myself. Like,
Yeah.
because during COVID, I
Yeah.
wanted to take like other classes and see
Yeah.
like what else was out there, and I
Not
got
just acting.
yeah, and I got really into medicine and stuff.
Oh.
So yeah,
And so science, but growing up,
yeah,
you were more arts rather than science.
yeah, yeah. So now I'm
But you're
re-exploring.
discovering
Yeah.
a new
Yeah,
area for you.
absolutely. And I love
Yeah.
it.
She didn't spend any time with Uncle Mike,
Mm-mm.
but I did when I was a kid, and he was a scientist, and he really
Yeah.
influenced me in terms of science. So that's a shame that you didn't
Oh, yeah.
have a chance to spend any time with him. He
yeah,
talk about a brilliant person. Yeah,
yeah. That was my uncle, my mom's brother, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yeah,
he passed away. He had stomach cancer.
Yeah,
And
Yeah,
some
way
sort
too
of
early,
cancer.
way too early.
way too early, yeah.
I played, we played tennis
Yeah.
at Paris Hill Park with his father, and Mike.
And Mike, and that's how you're both here.
Yeah.
Because Paris Hill Park and Dad playing tennis with Donna's father and Mike.
And brother, right?
Which
brother-
they found out later after they met at the where they lived.
And happened to
In the
live
same
In the
condo.
same
in the
condo.
same,
Yeah.
Same
And so
condo.
then they found out that they were playing tennis
That was
together.
her father and
And
brother at
Yeah.
the park.
She was
Yeah.
doing shifts, not like, was she at the there was a psychiatric hospital near there. I think she was doing rounds or something.
it was right next to their apartment complex.
Yeah.
The psychiatric hospital.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can see it out the
Yeah.
window of my kitchen, yeah.
Yeah. Did you think? Did you talk to Uncle Mike? Did you think that he was a smart guy? Did you spend any time with him?
Never occurred to me. We never discussed anything which would indicate to me that he was a bright guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just Donna's brother,
Yeah.
and we got along all right.
She just tells all these stories about his science fair projects and
Oh, no.
all the different
didn't he
things.
build
yeah.
a nuclear
He's some sort of
something or other-
explosion that happened in
something-
their
He
porch.
was trying to build a nuclear
Reactor.
reactor at home
Oh,
that
wow.
exploded.
Yeah.
Well,
And then another kid broke into their place and destroyed his
Destroyed
science
because out of
because he out of
jealousy.
Jealousy.
oh my god.
Yeah, she has a lot of stories about Michael and his
Yeah.
science.
who had his PhD
Yeah.
in
Psychology.
psychology.
Yeah.
Yeah, he and his father had a waist like this, and they went. You look at me.
Yeah.
They went like this. They
Broad
had a
shoulders.
chest this big around. Her father, holy Christmas, he was bald up on top, but he had a massive chest, and they had this tiny little waist to them.
They were.
Boy, were they
German.
good
Yeah.
physical specimens. But of course, Mike was taller, so his
6'4".
was spread out more. But his father had this barrel chest and a narrow, thin waist and thin legs.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, they were like weightlifters. Those guys.
But the two of you, I remember, had some real heated battles playing tennis.
I don't remember
Yeah.
any heated battles.
Yeah.
Heated battles be,
Like
Arguing
you,
Yeah,
over-
but see, I
you
didn't know how
and
to
Danny,
play
right?
tennis.
yeah.
Yeah.
All those years, I didn't know how to play tennis till a couple years ago. I'm out there hitting the ball back and running around and hitting the ball back. But every time I get into a tournament and I'd run into someone who had formal training, they could stroke the ball. I would always have trouble because they would just, they didn't just hit the ball back, but they would stroke through the ball. Not too many guys like that,
Yeah.
fortunately. But I would always lose when I ran into to somebody who had form. Of course, I did beat almost everybody. Well, I could make up for it with my legs because I could run,
Yeah.
and I wasn't stupid. I could figure stuff out, but I didn't know how to play tennis, and I did not know how to stroke a ball. I can remember the first time I played this left-handed player in a tournament at Paris Hill Park, Howard Park. What he would do, because he was left-handed, he would hit cross court to my backhand and then come up to the net. And I did not know how to hit a backhand up the line. So I would lob over his head, or I'd come back and he'd be there waiting for it. And I remember the 34th year that he came, I finally learned how to chip my backhand. I beat him easily, because he would hit that topspin forehand, I backhand. I would chip the ball up the line, and I never had any trouble with him. And see, I didn't know how to play tennis.
And you
Ah.
sure taught a lot of people how to play.
Well, I could teach, I could read the books, I knew what the grips were, I knew what you were supposed, how you transferred your weight. Sure, but I didn't really, I tell you about that guy I taught over here at Oak Park. What was he? He was a chiropractor, he was something. could not hit a ball. I mean, I would feed him a ball and he'd swing. Couldn't hit a ball. Finally, after about his 6th lesson, he was finally able to hit a ball back. He could get the racket in front of the ball. Did I tell you this? And then he brought his son. He says, "Well, here, why don't you show him what to do?" I threw the ball to his son. His son hit the ball over the fence or something. And his father turns and says, "See, he's a natural." Because he could hit the ball the first time. Oh, it took his father 6 lessons to get the ball on the racket. So yeah, I could teach.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's who I had to teach. People who knew how to play. I had a lot of. I mean, I was teaching them the basics, the stuff I knew, but not what I finally arrived at.
Mm-hmm.
My theory of how you play,
Mm-hmm.
which I would think if I started out now and I learned the proper strokes.
Mm-hmm.
See, right now I was thinking if I go back to playing tennis, I would be chipping everything, including my forehand. I'd be putting backspin because I can't generate the power. I can't hit the ball hard enough, but I can chop down into the ball pretty well, which is what I think if I played doubles, that's what I would do. Just chop everything. But see, what am I going to do? I stand in midcourt and they hit the ball at me. My reflexes, my eyesight's all right because of the cataract surgery.
Right.
But my reflex, they might be afraid they're going to hurt me.
Uh-huh.
They would be. I mean, if they hit the
Yeah.
ball to me and I can't get my racket around in time.
Yeah.
Did you play tennis
No.
at all, Grace?
God, I
No.
would just
Well,
love,
there's still time.
with
Yeah,
what
I know.
You're only 24.
I know,
love
there's
to
so
get
much
out there
time to
and
learn.
Yeah.
I was actually talking to my mom about
Oh.
Because they could-
trying to, because
He'd be there to
want to
hit
get
every
into
third or
like a
fourth
sport of
ball.
some
Yeah.
kind.
Yeah.
All I'd
And
have
there's
to
so
do
many
would be
tennis
get a little
courts.
ball here,
Right.
a little
Yeah.
ball
Well, if you
there,
ever want
and then
to
let him cross into
uh,
the middle.
try playing
That's
it all,
the-
let me know.
that's the
We'll go
end
to
of
the
the
tennis
Sure,
club.
yeah. Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. We're gonna play tennis.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
The tennis club where
Yeah.
Shelley grew up.
Yeah. Alcantara.
Yeah.
So
I
you play
invited
there?
Grace. She can, yeah. Grace can come over and we can go out and hit the ball around.
Okay.
Now we know all the
Awesome.
secrets.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
you should come when they got the, of course, we have a swimming pool here, but they have a swimming pool over there. You could go
Very
play a little see what the good life is like, huh? Go,
Yeah.
go in the swimming pool and
Go up
play
to
a
the
little tennis.
Uh-huh.
go to the snack bar and
Go
have
to
a
the
little
snack
snack.
bar.
That was
Yeah.
my favorite. That's
Yeah.
where I
See, that would be
lived at the
terrific.
snack bar. I was always getting snacks. I would get beef jerky and like a Coke or an iced tea, and I'd dip my beef jerky in them.
In the ice tea?
Sometimes I'd take Lifesavers and I'd put them all in my drink so that the drink would just taste like. And then I'd eat the Lifesavers at the very end. I came up with so many things at that. Because I was
Yeah.
just stuck in that room most of the day.
Yeah.
I
The
would play a
TV
little
room?
bit of
The
tennis,
TV
or I
room?
would swim. Yeah, but sometimes
That's
I'd be
what-
there at 7:00 in the morning, 6:00 in the
Oh,
morning.
because Dad would be teaching and he would take you
he
to
would
the.
take me. Yeah. We'd stop at the donut shop, and then I'd just sit in front of the TV till the sun came out.
Oh, so how old were you? You were real young
I was
then.
8,
8.
9, 10,
Mm-hmm.
all the way up through high school. Then I stopped going in the mornings as much, and I got a bike, so I would sleep in and ride my bike over.
Was Jennifer Hostetter there?
Yeah,
Oh, she was.
yeah.
I saw her just this
Really?
last weekend.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Playing.
she was older than me.
Oh,
By
okay.
a couple years. Her
But
and
who-
Cassie were in the same.
I don't know her, but of course Erin Morales,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, is still there. But
She's been there for, I remember when she first started, when first
Yeah.
day, just in high school, she was
Yeah.
working after school, I think,
yeah,
Yep.
in the snack bar.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
when
But
I
who-
couldn't see over the top,
over
and they'd
the
have
top.
to open the door for me to see the snacks.
Have you been to La Cantera?
I think I have been like
Have
once or
been?
twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oak Park isn't operating anymore.
Well, it burned down.
Fire.
Burned down. It's not there anymore.
Well, it only burned one of the I don't think it burned both buildings.
The
Did
whole
it?
the whole
Burned
thing's
the
gone.
house and the
Everything's
clubhouse?
gone. Yeah, and then they sold the land to the school system. The plan is to build a school there, but they have no plans yet. They just bought the land. Yeah. So that's totally gone now.
Maybe another elementary school right across the street from the junior high? Or?
It's just land that the school district owns
Okay.
for potential future site. Yeah,
Future.
but there's no current plans to put anything there.
Mm.
Yeah,
Does it still have the pool structure?
I think everything's gone.
Oh,
Yeah, the whole place burned down and then they just removed
bulldozed it.
everything,
Yeah.
as far as I know.
They used
And
to
that
have
was
these.
right across the street and the school wasn't touched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just across the
From
street,
Lincoln Valley.
only on this side.
Yeah. It's the middle school we're talking about. I've gone there just briefly in 8th grade, but Jennifer and Kevin both went there.
Mhm.
It's down the street.
Can you
Right.
think of anyone else at La Cantera that would still be around?
I don't know if the Mitchells. Do you remember the Mitchells?
Yeah, so what's the first name
Oh.
of Mitchell?
Well, there was a man, Steve Mitchell, but probably not
No,
him.
there's something woman's name, something Mitchell. I remember that name. I
The
went up there and the
Angels.
people say hello to me and I don't recognize anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I don't recognize anybody. It's really hard.
Jody Hoy's dad.
Oh, Mike
Mike.
Hoy,
Mike
he's
Hoy,
there. I
yeah.
see him all the time when I go
Yeah.
there. And
Yeah,
his,
he's still playing. He's
oh, and
limping.
Marilyn Hoy, Marilyn Hoy.
Is she
Is
there?
she
too?
married? No. Is she married Jim Grisham? I don't know. No, they haven't been around. But yeah, Mike Hoy is still there. Yeah, and he remarried and his wife passed away a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was carrying some boxes. They were going somewhere and she slipped down the stairs and hit the back of her head.
Uh,
Yeah,
you have to
believe
be
it?
so
It's
careful
just
and
can
even when you are
happen.
careful,
yeah.
doesn't make any
She wasn't holding on to the railing and he
Yeah.
just slipped. Fell backwards on the stairs.
Yep,
Head injuries.
that'll do it all right.
Yeah,
That's awful.
yeah. Anyone else you can think of? The Hoys?
Oh, Robert Mitchell. That was his name. Robert. I can't remember what his sister's names. There was Patrick and Tim and
Yeah,
Andersons.
The Andersons.
Andersons. And Tim has moved back to town, but I haven't seen him at the club. Only rarely does he stop by.
And the guy whose father was the FBI agent.
Dave Cooper.
Cooper is a
His
FBI
father was
agent.
the FBI.
Oh, yeah. Joe Siebel.
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 Yeah, Dave Siebel.
Dave Siebel.
You
Yeah.
must have known him. He
Yeah.
was in
Oh, you did.
Mitchell.
He was
Yeah.
he
he's
was
Robbie's
visiting
age group.
just a couple of weeks ago. He was in town maybe for Christmas or something. Yeah, I saw him just recently.
Yeah. Dave Siebel.
Yeah.
And then
And
the
you met
Sharkies.
Dan Magnuson.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And Virginia.
Virginia, she is living with Terry down in San Diego.
And the guy who's the professional tennis player.
Dan Magnuson, the professional.
The one who's on the circuit, he's playing pickleball now.
Yeah. That is he's 6'8".
Yeah, great, huge, tall
and,
guy. His
Playing
mother took
pickleball.
lessons from me, and he used to be 5 or 6 years old
Yeah,
out there
can't
hitting
remember.
tennis balls.
Can't remember his name.
So you would have known him.
I can't think of his name.
God darn.
So there might be people over there
And what
still
about
that.
the guy who had red hair and you used to play tennis with him? You had big tennis matches. Red hair. It wasn't Danny. It was another guy.
The only guy I can think of there was Paul Peterson, but red hair that we would have tennis matches with. I don't recall.
I just remember I would sit on the rock and you'd be in the court down below and I'd watch you play tennis. Just sit there and watch you play
Yeah,
tennis.
yeah.
I don't know why you're on the courts below. Maybe because you guys were loud.
I liked Court 8 there the best because it was like a stadium court with the rocks
Yeah.
and all, and then people could sit up there.
Sandwich in the fridge.
Yeah, we're gonna put Maryland's sandwich in the fridge.
I got it.
Okay.
You don't need to get up.
Okay, what about these